I'm hitting record. We are recording. Is that all right with you?
Yeah,
Good.
that's fine.
Well, welcome back to the Counter-Strike Casuals podcast. Woo, what we saying? Where's the beer?
Was it a can?
A bit of
Was it
an
a can today?
anticlimax. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I held it towards the camera instead of like holding it towards my microphone for some reason. But I do need to dedicate this beer to someone actually.
Okay.
Um, this was a special beer bought to me
Okay.
from a good friend of ours, special friend, very special, as in special.
Right.
Sam,
Okay.
this
Good.
is this is the beer he got me to ask him to be my best man, his
Okay.
best man.
Lovely. Oh, that'll go down
If you want me
nicely.
to, if you want me to be your best man, just buy me a beer, and I'll say yes.
Fair enough. Well, for my next marriage, when I get married, I'll remember that.
How
Oh God, how have you been?
are
All
you,
right.
mate?
I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm not
good,
bad.
good,
I
good.
think just a bit mad from the weekend. Tired. I'm sure you are as well. Do you want to share what you did at the weekend at all with the listeners? I don't know if you.
Uh, Not really, but since you mentioned it, yeah, I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I did a competition at the weekend. It went pretty well. Didn't get the win, but yeah, it went good.
Your first one, so fair play for you for doing that. And it seems
Cheers,
that
man.
the one thing that Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Counter Strike have in common is that they're both very addictive. It seems that whoever steps into the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu gym gets the bug and doesn't seem to come back out. So fair play.
It's a good sport, man.
And whilst that was going on, there was some Counter Strike as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into what we've got to talk about this week. I think it's been a busy week. There's lots going on. It feels at the moment, it feels like all we talk about is like roster changes and drums and stuff like that. But I did watch a bit of the Blast tournament over the weekend, over in Copenhagen. I do have a special bit of fondness on that because that's the one we went to watch, as everyone probably knows by now. So although it's not that interesting for everyone, I think it was quite a good tournament, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And we got to witness FaZe's run come to an end, so that was very sad. But I think not unreasonable. I think we all probably expected it to probably be Vitality or FaZe, didn't we? In the final. And actually, when you look at the results, or you look at the standings, none of them are a surprise. When you actually look at who finished
Yeah,
where, just swapping Vitality or FaZe would have been, whichever one that would have been. And then the rest of them pretty much fall in line with exactly where you'd see everyone playing at the moment, fitting in form with how they've been in past recent tournaments and with all the roster moves and stuff happening. The most interesting thing from this was, in my mind, probably Vitality winning straight off the bat without Zonic. Also with Zyru just stepping up and just being like, do you know what? I'm fucking sick. Although Spinks did help a lot, and Flames, whatever you want to say, also put in a good effort. And look, King Mezzi for his first game, his first tournament with Vitality, and he goes and gets a W. Hey,
oh, he fucking wins it.
mate, only goes and wins it for UK Counter Strike everywhere. Incredible.
Yeah, but, I mean, he slotted in pretty well. I think he had a pretty rough game. I can't remember who it was against, but yeah, he had a pretty rough game. Oh, against FaZe actually. Can't remember which map it was. But yeah, he had a pretty rough one. But he's slotted in pretty well, all things considered. He's, he's replaced Magist really well, which kind of was expected. He's a good player, isn't he? So
Yeah, I think he'll still want to see his own performance and ratings up a bit. But yeah, I mean, Vitality, fair play to them, man. I didn't expect them just to do that well instantly and beat FaZe as well. It's been such good form without having Zonic or Magus, to be fair. But mate, Zyru was looking so sharp whenever I saw him. He looked like, because the only saw a snapshot recently of him in CS2, so I wasn't expecting him just to like completely dominate this competition. But yeah, he looked great. Interestingly as well, it meant that Carrigan's never won a tournament or a prize at the Royal Arena. Copenhagen, so he was proper upset, which is mental because I don't know. I just feel like he would have won there. That's probably the only one he wants to win now. Like the only thing left for him to win. But yeah, so fair play, fair play. Did you watch any of the games? Did you manage to watch like anything in detail at all? You had a busy weekend. I know that a lot of the good fun stuff was on over the weekend, so I don't know if you had a chance.
I don't think I did watch much, if anything, to be honest with you. I know I did keep up with all the results and whatnot, but no,
So
don't
what's
think anything. I'm just looking now.
yeah, I watched a bit of FaZe Cloud9 because I just think I really enjoy watching Cloud9 at the moment. I just think they're really interesting to watch with Boomage and stuff. I just think there's a real sense of like quality about them, and I think they're gonna really, if they continue to do what they're doing and get a few more strats in order and get used to playing with each other again, then yeah, Cloud9 could be top team. I
It
also
is weird. They've
I,
got like, I always say, like, I rate a team on the roper, and Boomits has just come in after not playing for I don't know how long. Comes in, they get rid of Shiro, probably the best AWPer, well, one of the best AWPers in the world, and Boomits just comes in and is just like, "Don't worry, lads, we've got this," and they just start rolling people, like, pretty
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, well, and I also watched a bit of them against Navi as well, and we got to see Wonderful at Navi, who looked very good. Looked like he slotted in very well there, right? I don't think there's any issues there at all. He's obviously not going to do that mad play once in a while that s1mple would do, but definitely more than good enough. He looked in that first few games to slot into a team like Navi and just do the job on the AWP. So I think that's a really sensible and nice pickup from them actually. And I look forward to seeing how he develops. He could be one of the
Yeah,
best AWPers if he.
he did well. Yeah, no, he
Um,
did good.
the other good thing about that, which I loved personally, was Heroic beating Australis. But I think we'll come on to that because we're going to talk about the roster stuff in a bit. But I just thought that was hilarious that they lost to Heroic. I don't think there's too much to talk about because I guess I watched like 2 games again just because of life and stuff. But yeah, no major.
I mean, there's not too much to talk about. FaZe are still good. They were there. Vitality is no surprise that, I mean, if anyone started to write them off this early into CS2, then, shame on them. Vitality were head and shoulders above everyone during CSGO. And shock, they're still really good without the coach, without Magist, which, to be honest, we all could have predicted. They replaced Magist really well, getting Mezzi in. And shock, Zywoo is an absolute god still.
Was it ever really in doubt? There was a smidgen
No,
of doubt I had when I saw a few of
no.
his ratings from recent games. I can't remember what
I
it
mean,
was. I didn't watch loads of his games like recently in CS2.
I mean,
Was it
what
Sydney?
CS2? They lost. Was it that Bet Boom they lost against
Yeah.
in Sid and FaZe, and people just started to write them off. They're just like, no. Zywoo's one of those players where it's like he could have a bad week. For him, I'm a bit like that with Rops. If they have a bad game or a bad week or bad month, I'm like, yeah, but they're still an amazing player. Like they will get it back. He's one of those. I mean, I know a lot of people saying Robs is, been the best player in CS2, which yeah, he has. But Zywoo is still the best player. Like Robs has been the best up to now, but Zywoo is the best.
Still only 23 as well. I think he always looks or feels older just because
Yeah,
of his way he holds himself. So, yeah, I mean, if it was ever in doubt, it's not now. Whether he could transition to CS2, and I guess that also the Nico, when he just got back into CS2, when he first started first few games of CS2, he didn't put up great scores either. So the question around all these CSGO greats like Zyro, Nico, and s1mple and things like that is whether they can transition. And I think the answer is just yes, it probably is, right? It's not that different now. They've made the changes to the game, which mean that they're making it more like CSGO. And it makes you wonder what is next for s1mple, because if you're sat at home watching these, if I'm sat at home as s1mple now, and I'm like, I've had a break, which it probably feels like a break considering the calendar and the diary of events that he was on before. You gotta be watching Rops, Zaru, all this stuff going on, all these team changes, wonderful coming in as well, and actually holding his own, looking pretty fucking decent. You gotta be watching that thinking, well, I could just come in and be s1mple, no? I could just dominate this.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of him is thinking that, but I don't know. He's probably enjoying the break, but he is a competitive person. We all know that. Um, I think deep down he was slightly concerned with the way CS was, and he didn't want to get caught up if there was any issues with the AWP, which a lot of people have been complaining about, and it was going to start to affect his score and whatnot. So he maybe thought, which to be fair, it was a good time to take a break, and he's probably thinking, I'll just take a break while they iron out any issues that they've got, which I think is understandable.
Yeah, and I think it's not too far gone that he's falling behind or anything, and he's clearly doesn't really affect him. I don't think. But I think you just got to you'd be watching with envious eyes now. I would be, or be getting. Surely you're getting the itch back. If you're not getting the itch back yet, I mean, I get the itch after like 5 days of not playing CS. For fuck's sake, he must be, you know.
He's playing though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But I don't know what. I went on his Twitch before this actually just to see, is he actually streaming, is he doing, I couldn't see any videos on there. I guess he's playing Face It and FPL and stuff, but I don't know, I'd have to look actually. I should have done before.
Yeah, he's still playing FPL and that.
If he's streaming, I wasn't following him before because I think it would be very boring to watch s1mple play CS on stream. I think I'd rather watch Olafmeister or someone like that. But the other thing is that with the major coming up early next year, I do think it would be weird. For all the shit I give s1mple, it would be weird not to see him at a major. And I wonder if he's going to get to Christmas, have Christmas, and then look to start finding a new team, or I don't know. Would he go back to Navi? What would he do?
I think also with s1mple, like, he's probably a little bit tired of not competing, like, for one of the best teams in the world, which is understandable as well. Like, he's obviously been there. He knows he can, or he thinks he can. Everyone else thinks he can, but like nobody puts Navi in the conversation to win anything really, and haven't for a while.
I wonder if he's better just to start fresh or go somewhere else.
I mean, he is.
Oh, you cut out
in
there. You lagged quite a bit.
Yeah, you lagged quite a bit before actually. Hopefully, it comes across well when
if not,
we
skip
upload
over
this. But yeah, he's in the contract with Navi till 2025.
Okay, interesting. So
I mean,
that means that someone has to buy him out if they want him.
I imagine he has a pretty big buyout if anyone wants to buy him out, which the only team I imagine would buy him out at the minute could be Falcons, which I'm pretty sure something's come out somewhere that they don't want s1mple anyway. Which, to be honest, if I was an org, I wouldn't want s1mple at the minute. It does seem like he's past his best. And yeah, he's still fucking really good. But I wouldn't be paying over the odds for him unless I was like a win now team and I already had a really good core. I mean, I feel like the questions are more, is he going to come back for the major before or after? Or is he going to come back at all?
I think he should come back for the major. I don't think Falcons would go for it, like you said about having that core and just going to win. I think there's too much of a building project there. If they couldn't land Nico and they weren't willing to pay the money for Nico, I can't imagine they're going to do the same for s1mple. And I don't. If I'm an org, owner and coach, I don't think there's any difference between Nico and s1mple for me. You know, Nico's a rifler, sure, but in terms of actual skill and stuff, I just don't think so. Curveball, could he ever go back to Liquid? He was at Liquid once upon a time. Imagine. I mean, I know again it's just the money, isn't it? But let's take the money out of the equation. Imagine a world where you saw Nafia Kinder, s1mple on AWP, Cadian IGLing, and Twists. That would be that would
Yeah,
be
that'd be a stacked team.
that would be an insane team. Or he simply just doesn't come back and he just stays as a streaming, moody teenager.
Well, I mean, if as they all say, that's where the money is. They can make a lot of money just
Yeah,
streaming.
sitting in his bedroom. Oh, Dave, I think I've lost you again.
Yeah. I was just saying, I think s1mple's making a lot of money. I don't think he's too concerned about the money, but he's a competitive guy, so he might wanna win more, or he might just settle as the best CS:GO player ever, and that's him done.
Yeah,
He
potentially.
probably, yeah. I can't see him being the best at the end of CS2, whenever that is, if that ever is, whatever happens with CS2. I can't see them saying the best CS2 player ever is s1mple, because
Right, we're back. All right, internet issues hopefully resolved. If not, we'll push through and we'll see how we get on.
so yeah,
It's clearly s1mple sabotaging our podcast.
yeah.
So much.
So what we're saying is, s1mple could go back to Navi, or he could stop playing. We reckon.
Or another team. No, I mean if
Well,
another team could afford him, but
I don't. I think with the current state of teams at the minute, I don't think anyone would be silly enough to pay his buyout. I imagine his buyout's ridiculous.
yeah.
Unless he says to Navi, "I want to go," they might let him go for a lesser fee. But I imagine not much. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know who would want him. Maybe like sounds ridiculous, I know, but it's kind of like when Ronaldo, was it when he left United, or maybe just before he came back to United? It was like he's kind of past his best, but he's still a really good player.
Has he actually passed his best though? This is what I'm saying with the Zywoo
No,
thing.
I
Not that
don't
Zywoo ever
know.
passed
Like
his best, but
you can't say he's. I mean, I can't say he's past his best, but everyone would openly. I think most people would openly say Zywoo is the best player.
yeah, towards the end of CS:GO he was, and we haven't seen s1mple in a CS2 match, proper CS2 match, so we don't know how he's finding the
I mean,
game or how
I
he's
mean, how would Vitality get on if you replace Zywoo with s1mple?
not as well because it would fuck up the whole team dynamics.
But let's say skill wise, like forget the languages and everything.
Okay, if you're taking everything out and it's just raw ability, then I think they'd be
Yeah.
fine.
So would we be
I
saying
don't know if they'd,
s1mple
I
is
don't
the
know if
best
they would have
player?
won against FaZe, but I don't know because again
It's really hard to say, isn't it?
I haven't seen s1mple play a CS2 game. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying, and so that's why if there was any doubts on Zywoo and his little stint of playing 2 games at Sydney, wherever it was, and you're thinking, oh, he's looking a bit off, and not maybe he's not quite adjusted to CS2 life. Well, I think they probably just get eroded once you see s1mple again in a proper tournament. He probably just plays really well. Something to prove. I've been away for a bit, and I'm s1mple. Actually, CS2 isn't that hard, and it's pretty much the same. I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
If I was Navi, maybe I would look at moving him. They've just got Wonderful in as well. It's like, well, what's he going to do? He's going to be like, right, I'm back, guys. See you later, Wonderful.
Yeah, I don't think that's a wise move. I think they're better to focus on building for the future and what they've got. I think it's clear that they seem in a better state mentally or seem more like a team. It feels like a team more, So, I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of he's a little too big for the team, isn't he? Almost.
Potentially. All I know is somehow s1mple's made its way back onto the podcast and it's far too much chat about someone that's not even playing Counter Strike.
Yeah, well, he's a big part of the game, isn't he?
Well, he did say on stream he wouldn't play Valorant, so that's a shame.
Legend.
Could have seen him go to Valorant and seen him being
Well,
toxic over there. They would have bloody cried at the stuff he.
yeah, well, with us talking so much about hypothetical rosters, we're probably better talking about stuff that we do know is happening.
Yeah.
So go on, what's happening? What's happened?
Well, the once again for people that chat this podcast, Navi were always my least favorite team, mainly because they were so toxic and just they felt like that team that if you played in, you'd just be under pressure from round one. Well, it turns out that they're now not my least favorite team, and my new least favorite team is Astralis.
What?
Scummy Astralis, scumbag Astralis, scumstralis, one might say, and Yabby and Stevnin have
Stown.
Stan, yeah. Yabby and Stan have officially signed for Astralis. Stab you in the back. See you later, motherfucker. So there you go. Who am I going to be least rooting for now? It's Astralis. They're just if there's any bad stink in Counter Strike or the scene about the way they conduct business, the way they go around things, it always comes back to Astralis.
I thought you'd be into that though. Like, I feel like your kind of industry would be like just fucking get the job done.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're gonna be like that, step up and perform, and then they're just gonna end up finishing 6th or 7th.
Whoa, we'll see, mate. When Star and Yabby, Device, Blame F, and Stare. Yeah, whatever. That's a pretty good team.
It is a pretty good team, but fuck them. I don't want them to do well. I think Cadian is a better player than both of them put together. So the fact that they did what they needed to do, and Cadian, no, I wasn't even a massive heroic fan, for fuck's sake. They were fucking mildly entertaining at best, and it's because Cadian was just fun to watch. And they were
you are deep down
top 3 or 4 team that never really won anything. So wicked, it's great. Is it the end of the world if heroic fade into nothingness? Not really to me. Cadian, I want to go to Liquid and smash that. I think that'd be sick to see. But I just think Yabby and Stan just like little rats at the moment. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I think
after what they've done, I think a lot of people think. I mean, after what they've allegedly done with.
Yeah, but they're not telling us what they did, so fuck it. We might as well just be dicks about it. And I just think the whole aroma around it is just a bit shit, man. And it's always Astralis. It's just always Astralis. And I think with Astralis, it's like when we went to Copenhagen, the atmosphere around Astralis was it's like, oh, we still love them. It's like, oh, fucking move on. Let's move on, boys. Like they've got shops everywhere. We went into a Astralis shop, and it's like, oh god, they're so average for so long now.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm done with it.
I agree, and I feel you. I can know where you're coming from. Astralis back in the day, the original Astralis team that did, that they were so good and they were so entertaining to watch, and they were good. They kind of changed CS, but now, yeah, what they've done and how they kind of run the organization is a little bit slimy, and it's a little bit, it's not nice. Kind of, it doesn't look nice.
Because they are Astralis because of the name they carry in Denmark and amongst Danish players. If they were just upfront and loud about it, it would still probably have the same result. They'd probably still get these players if they just said, you know what, we're Astralis and we want to fucking get these 2 players from you. Right, probably got no chance anyway, and you'd almost respect that more and go, fair play. Like, it's just Astralis throwing their weight around. It's just the way they do it, and again, we are speculating, and I am making stuff up, but that's also the point of this. Might as well just be up forthright about it. I am least excited. Even benching Buzz, who's been playing well recently. And actually, if you go back to podcast 3, 4, or 5 that we did, I was actually saying they should sack Buzz off and keep Altex back when Altex was there. So I've not even been a Buzz fan, but that was unfair
Well,
to bunch Buzz.
Buzz turned it round towards the end
Yeah,
of CS:GO. He started performing, and he's been sick. And I was a bit surprised. I was trying to wrap my head around it, like why they kept staring at Buzz, and it's really hard to say. But I think maybe Yabby kind of fills that spot that Buzz was taking, and Stare kind of fits the spot where that they need. Like they're gonna be a pretty stacked team with this new roster. Um, so maybe Stare kind of fills that little gap that they need better than Buzz would have. My other thing is, I imagine Blame Effie's going to carry on in-game leader.
yeah.
If they're not performing, maybe they could just get rid of Stare and get an in-game leader in from somewhere, and that kind of works better for them as well.
Cadian. Cadian. Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, now that I've given it the big one and said that they're a fucking scumbag team, they're probably going to go and win the next tournament. Like, that's just how it works. And if they do start winning and it turns into a Astralis style, whatever we call these things, saga, or what am I thinking of? I can't think. I'm tired today.
Jealous era.
That is one way that you can start to make people forget about these things, right? I'll hold my hands up. I'll quickly stop thinking about it and start thinking.
You'll become an Astralis fan.
Oh, I'm getting a Astralis top. So, but it is, But if they continue to be 7th or 8th at Blast, cool. What a waste of time. Keep being average. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were a cunt.
Yeah,
Didn't work out. Yeah.
And then you start looking at Glaive going to Ents, and I think that looks like a more interesting team to me. The new Ents setup looks more interesting, and I'm more interested to see that now.
There's been loads of rumours around some Ents players, like some Pius going, Nerds going. So apparently, Twist is leaving FaZe. He's going to Liquid. That's apparently a done deal. So they're saying. Apparently, where was Nerds supposed to go?
FaZe.
To FaZe, but they've got Frozen. They're going to get Frozen.
Is that what the rumour is? That's what you've heard?
So yeah, Twist is going to Liquid. FaZe are getting Frozen. And Nerds... Oh, that was it. Was he going to go? G2 were going to get Nerds if Nico went to Falcons.
Right.
That's what it was. Sorry. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But in terms of...
But if the roster stays together and Glaive goes, then yeah, sick team. Still sick team.
Yeah, well, I think what I mean by, okay, is sick team the right... We don't know, but my point is I'm more excited to watch the new this new Ents setup, and with Cuban as coach, than watching Astralis and Stabby, the Backstabbers. I'm just more excited to see how it goes. I think.
No, I'm excited to see Astralis more
really?
than Ents have changed one player. It's Snappy for Glaive, and it's a little bit like a little swap.
Yeah, but it's Glaive in.
I'm really happy for Glaive.
An uncharted territory with different kind of players around him, different nationalities, and I think that's exciting to see. And I hope he does really well there.
Astralis team could be sick, and I'm excited to see that. Like I don't give this is where you surprise me, because you're kind of not a sentimental guy. You don't really get attached to things. I can separate the organization, the players' attitudes, all that business with Counter-Strike. And if they play good Counter-Strike, I'll be loving it.
Well,
regardless of how they've made the team.
This shows you how much I care about Counter-Strike. Even if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't half the time, and even if this is a load of waffle, I do feel like these kind of things give me emotion to want to go and support or watch something. It's like when Wonderful came to Navi. I was excited to see his first couple of games.
Yeah.
He fitted in really nicely. I kept an eye on the score. I'll continue to keep an eye on his score because I think, yeah, fair play to him. Young up and coming guy, filled big shoes that everyone would be, all eyes will be on him. And fair play. Rate that highly. And I think Navi as a team are more interesting now. s1mple's not there. So these things do seem to have effect on me, and I think, yeah, I hope Australis fail. I want another Lycans to continue to do well, and especially for Glaive.
I think the storylines do make Counter Strike. Like, although playing it obviously is by far my favorite thing to do, but the storyline behind it all and the pro scene is really interesting, and I do like all the stories. Do like,
The changes.
Yeah, it is really entertaining, and the stories behind the players and the beefs and all that is so interesting. But I will still be excited to see a team play like Australis, even though I agree with all your points that you made, that they are slimy, stabby, annoying, and the whole thing's been annoying. But I will still be super excited to watch them play. Like Device, Blame F are sick. Yabby and Stown are both sick players. It will be interesting to see whether it works, whether they crash and burn, or whether they absolutely smash it. I will be watching either way.
All right. Well, lots to think about. So let's see how it goes. What about your beloved Fnatic? You got your Fnatic top on now. So what are we saying about them?
The boys.
All
I mean,
move
you
at
can't see
Fnatic
it.
again. They can see it. They can see it.
Um,
I
yeah,
don't know
so
much about these young guns coming in. To be
I
fair,
mean, I don't think anyone does, to be honest. I mean, Body, we talked about last week. He stepped in for Into the Breach, and he pretty much carried them to win some CCT online tournament, which I think had some okay teams in it.
I don't think they won it. I think they lost in the final or something. I think. Could be
What?
wrong.
Right. Well, can you check that? I thought they won it. So Body, yeah, he's a French guy. He's played with Afro before. On Can't remember what team, but he's from Falcons. He notably played for G2 in 2017. They actually won quite a few things. He played with Kenny S, and I think that was a full French squad. So he's a pretty good player. He's going to be the in-game leader. He's just over like a 1 rating or something, which is okay for an in-game leader. You've got Matsi. Um, he's come from s1mple, which actually aren't awful. He's a 1.26 player, and he's only 21, so
Some nice stats there.
he's a good player, man. He's not set the world on fire, which this team isn't, to be honest with you. But I like that Fnatic aren't just going crazy and just trying to get big names in and trying to throw money around, because I do think as an organization you've got to be pretty careful with your money. If you just start throwing it about, then that's
You
how
won't be
you
around
lose money
long.
fast. Yeah, exactly. And then they've got Kyubi. How are you saying his name?
Yeah, that's good enough for me.
Whatever.
K Dog.
Yeah. He's only young, he's 18. He's rating 1.7 from Sangal. They actually did pretty well. They got into the Blast Fall um, qualifiers. They beat Fnatic in 2022, so maybe that's why Fnatic got them in. They're like, all right, you smashed us, so come and join us.
Well, I
So yeah,
just
they
checking
they
the.
got rid of Dexter, which we already knew, and they've signed those free. And I think it's not a bad squad, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. So you're excited for Fnatic now?
I'm not sick. I'm not excited, no,
No.
but I'm happy that they've got a squad, and I'll follow them and I'll support them. I'm not like you. Oh, they're not going to win anything, so I'm not supporting them. You're clearly a heroic fan, but you can't follow them because they're not winning.
I can support Heroic because they got Dupree, absolutely. Oh, yeah, wherever Dupree goes, I support. He's top 5 selected CSGO player of all time. Just checking what body stepped in for the Interbreach. It was the CCT CCT Online finals. And they got to the lower final. They lost to Big, so they came fourth overall.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah,
they beat Big for some reason. Yeah, I
mm,
knew they played them. I
yeah.
thought they
But
won.
it was a good run for them considering how they've been recently. It was probably one of their best runs recently. So yeah, he looked in good stead for them. Okay, so what
I mean,
happens
you've
with
got the two
Dexter?
French. Dexter's gone. See you later.
Okay.
Um, I mean, Buddy and Afro played together before. I do feel like chemistry is way more important than I used to think in CS. I don't think it's all about getting the best players, putting them together, and they will wipe the floor with anyone. I think communication, culture, how well the teams get on with each other, communicate, language, all that is really important.
Yep.
And I think chemistry, like as if the team get on and respect each other, and I think it all helps.
No, I agree. I think that feeling of it sounds so weird. I keep saying it, but it's that feeling of sometimes just having confidence that you can try something and do it, not get annihilated if you do it wrong. So that has a lot to say in it. Okay, and then we obviously know about the liquid stuff that I feel like we talk about this every week until it's done. It's like the world's least kept secret. If it does or doesn't happen, I imagine it doesn't happen now. That'd be interesting. Um, yeah,
So what are we saying? What's the liquid team?
I thought it was Twist, Cadian, Skulls, Yakinda, and Naf, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would
So
be
allegedly,
sick,
I've
but
I've
we
heard.
keep talking about it every week, and it's never happening.
Yeah. So I've heard like Twist is pretty much a done deal. Like I said earlier, Frozen's going to phase. So let's let's hit on phase first because that's a little bit more easy to digest because they're just replacing one player. Do you think Frozen's going to fit in well there?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
do you think they can be competing like they are doing now?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they'll have no issues there, especially with the mouse connections that FaZe have with um, Carrigan being there and Rops and stuff. So I think it'll all fit in really nicely. I don't think there's any issues there. Um,
I think yeah, they'll be really good.
if that is actually going to happen, and then what happens? FaZe just get disbanded because Complexity take them over. It's all just such a like a
Yeah.
up in the air nonsense at the moment, isn't it? You just kind of want these guys to all settle down, and I'm looking forward to the start of the major run and getting like some real teams settled in and seeing how we all get going.
Well, yeah, maybe that's why all these rosters are going crazy. Like they need to prepare for, they need to get ready, basically, don't they? Because they're all still fannying about. It's like get your house in order, and then
Mm.
you got a major coming up. So let's hit on liquid then quickly. So Twist goes. How sure are we Cadians going?
I don't know.
I've not heard much about it.
I thought that's all we've heard, isn't it? He's going to Liquid.
Yeah, I mean,
Where else
what
could
a
he go? I don't know where else he would now fit in. I don't know. Other than that Astralis move sounds quite funny now. Now that you mention it, get rid
you're
of Stair.
definitely not going there.
That'd be jokes. I love that if that happened.
Don't know if Falcons would entertain it. Oh, and is Snappy's confirmed?
No, not yet.
Not
Again,
confirmed.
just every week the same rumours, isn't it? Every week it's the same. Cadian Twist to Liquid still doesn't get confirmed. Snappy to Falcon still hasn't been confirmed. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Still negotiating personal terms or last minute stuff. I'm not sure,
Could,
but
could Snappy go to Heroic?
potentially. I mean, I don't know why he'd go to Heroic now.
Yeah, I don't.
They're like the
What
third but
what's
worst
what what's he
Danish
going
team.
to?
Preezy's probably the best one. Just go to
What's he
Preezy.
what's he going to Falcons for?
Loads of money.
Loads of money. So yeah, Nerds. No, sorry, I'm thinking of Ents again. So yeah, they're staying the same. I think we've hit on most of the roster changes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Um, what's next? What's coming up next? What tournaments we've got to watch? Is there any actual Counter Strike other than just teams? Change what we've got. We've got the CCT Online Finals 5. There's
You've
another
got
one.
this Elisa Masters.
Elisa's Masters. That starts tomorrow, is it? What on earth
Yeah,
is that?
Espo.
Over in Finland.
Oh, nice.
We've got Mounts, Ents, Complexity, Gamer Legion. Oh, a Fnatic actually turning up? Yeah, they've
Yeah,
got a team now, haven't they?
I imagine they will.
So who's going to win this? Oh, this is Complexities to lose here.
So,
Furio could turn up as well.
Glaive's going to be playing for Ents as well. So, I reckon,
Mouse Complexity final, isn't it?
yeah, Mouse. Oh, I hope Ents do well.
Well, let's see. That starts tomorrow, so we'll definitely be watching some of those games.
If that's Ents' team and they're all staying together, they could all be hyped to be like their new team, and they could play well together.
Well, they've certainly got the easier group compared to the other.
And I feel like these teams in CS2, like the teams that just get thrown together and are a little bit like play off the cuff a little bit, and they're not like trying to play new tactically, play well.
Yeah.
If Glaive's going in and he's trying to do some new tactical shit, and they're not, they
New
might
tactical
struggle.
shit, just throwing everyone off. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, if he's like, I don't know, trying to implement his method, then they might struggle. But if he's letting them play loose and play their style, I think they've got a good chance. But yeah, Mouse and Complexity are playing too well at the minute. I think Mouse could win it.
Yeah, man, Yimfat the boy. All right. Well, is there a fantasy up for that? We need to do a fantasy team. Although I always do start the fantasy and then I just forget to do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned mine last week. I think Tessa's really let me down. Everyone else was okay, but yeah, wasn't great.
Okay. Well, let's watch that with excitement and anticipation for who's going to do well. We obviously we started the Gucci watch last week. We got to feel
The Gucci boys,
the Gucci gang, the Gucci gang watch.
and how are they doing?
The Gucci boys are doing Gucci. They're actually doing Gucci. They just won the A1 Gaming League Season 7 and they beat BetBoom in the final. And they fucking beat BetBoom nicely actually. It was, yeah, pretty comfortable when you look at it actually. Yeah, they're doing well. They're on like a 7-win winning streak. So I don't know. What does this mean for the Gucci gang? The Gucci Academy are rising up the world, man. We've got to watch out for these boys because they could be the next
We were
Mouse
there
or something. We were there when
from the start.
we spotted them because of their absolutely outrageous name and the fact that they're all just wearing Gucci tops in their photos.
Are they actually part of the Gucci squad, or are they going to get sued?
I have absolutely no idea. Like, so bizarre.
The fact that in their profiles as well, like 3 of them have the same Gucci top, then 2 of them just have different
Random ones.
Gucci tops. Yeah,
They're probably all just knockoffs from like a
still
market.
Gucci.
Probably not even real, are they? Oh, anyway. All right. Well, look. Is there anything else you want to hit on at all?
No, I think no. I feel like we've covered a lot tonight.
Yeah. And we've even had a little technical pause, so apologies for that. We're trying to piece that together so it's seamless and you didn't even know. All right. Let's call it a night then, and we'll see everyone next week with some further reports on all this roster stuff and some first look at some new random teams of Fnatic and Ents, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to do a bit of a touch base with CS2 in general as well. Like maybe we can talk about all the updates and how CS2 is in the game itself.
Yep, sounds good. Well, let's give it a
Do
whirl
that
and
next
see what
week.
we think. All right, guys.
Yep. GG's.
Peace.